Okay, well, we welcome you to another segment. What are we calling this, Frank?
Segments.
We welcome you to another segment of our exploration into teen brains and how screens and social media are affecting them. We have with us today Rajani. And Rajani, I'm going to let you introduce yourself. You can say whatever you'd like to about yourself and we'll all believe it.
Okay. My name is Rajani Rastogi, and I'm a licensed social worker with about 20 years of social work experience, mainly in a medical hospital setting. And the last 4 years I've been at Hamilton High School as the school social worker.
How many students do you see a week or a day or a month?
I would say average in a week could be maybe about 35, 40.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
sorry.
let's talk about some of the issues that those 35 to 40 students a week are bringing in. What do you find yourself addressing more often than not?
Being on the smartphones and social media most of the day, they're getting lack of sleep, right? And they're having a hard time multitasking, concentrating, and it's just they're in this little world and not really having those human connections they need so badly. And how to problem solve, how to make eye contact, engage in an interviewing process. These are skills that when we didn't have all the smartphones and social media, that it was more natural because you learned through interactions with adults, your neighbors, your peers, and you picked up on cues. And now, the emojis replace,
Emotional cues.
our
yeah.
emotional cues.
Yeah.
And so I see it on a regular basis that these kids will sit in my office, and sometimes it's so uncomfortable because they're not used to that, interaction
With a human
because they're used to texting, right? They're used to emailing, messaging, and then there's no emotion to it other than those emojis.
Yeah.
So interestingly, this now compounds the problem because what started as I'm more comfortable with my phone, I'm now in a space where I'm maybe in this office interacting with you or in a job interview, and I don't have the skill set. So the stress and the anxiety that was here has now compounded, right?
Absolutely.
The baseline has shifted quite a bit.
Absolutely.
So I'm curious, how do you help? What do you do to help kids like that?
Well, as I mentioned, most of the kids that I see have either, anxiety, depression they're suffering with, or suicidal thoughts. And when you listen to their stories, it has to do with, things that happen online many times, right? Whether they're somebody said something online that's affected them, or people shared messages, right? And it affects them from a cyberbullying aspect, or kids are feeling like they don't belong because they weren't invited here or there. And so that's one component, right? But then you see that they don't have the strategies to cope with the stress, and it just increases. Their stress increases when you don't have coping skills, right? Natural coping skills, or have been taught at home, how to deal with problems. And so when I see them, we just try to kind of get, go over when it started, what's going on, who are their support systems, and what do they do when they are dealing with any type of stress, and then just kind of work into helping them develop some new skills. And
What do those look like?
like teaching them how to deal with stress, right? And how to kind of break things down, and sometimes journaling, writing down, teaching them strategies like taking care of themselves with exercise, sleeping, how to deal with their smartphone and gadgets, and minimizing the time they're on it, and being outdoors more,
I love that. So exercise, being outdoors, interacting with people, limiting smart time, smartphone exposure time. What is a healthy amount of screen time for a 15-year-old?
In my opinion?
Yeah, yeah.
In my opinion, I would, on a daily basis, I'd say maybe a couple hours
Yeah.
Okay.
is reasonable.
You're right in line with the research. Hour and a half to 2 hours max.
Right, right.
Yeah. Studies are showing that kids are self-reporting in surveys that they are happier. The kids that spend less than 3 hours a day, 2 to 3 hours or less, are more fulfilled, more academically successful,
Right.
and just generally happier.